up, Big Steve?
Hello. Shout out Michael Bisbin, I guess. Recap for this UFC, recap for this massive weekend. Can't wait to get into this one. Also, a little bit of Tilt Zone number 2. If you were original enough to watch Tilt Zone number 1, it's just me tilting about bad, annoying bets, which has only happened once. But yes, here we are. Recapping this massive weekend, PFL, UFC just gone by. Did I make money? No, I did not. No, I did not. Where did my 50 plus hours of tape go? Let's address it. Let's address it right now. Right. You can see that I have a clown mask on a guy on the recap. It's not Alonzo Manifield. It looks like him, but it's actually Abdul Malik. Let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. So, I lost like $300 on UFC, but let's go through it. Right, let me just do this. Let me just share this screen. So let's start with PFL. PFL was early. I didn't really give it much time. What do we got? I just zoomed through it. I'm like, all these fights are shit house. I hate PFL. You know, the bottom is just a bunch of buns. Basically, I had a Mulatto under 1.5 rounds of pick him. I didn't tip it. I was a little bit nervous about it. I reduced it. Of course, it hit. And I had 1.5 units on Adam Borix. I said to myself, you know, why don't I bet more? Like, I have a good read here. You know, Borix has all the finishing upside. He beat Jeremy Kennedy 30-27 the first time. I thought it was a clear 29-28. But even in round 3, when Kennedy took him down, he hurt him with calf kicks. So I was like, yeah, he has all the finishing upside. Kennedy's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's chinnier. He's just going to hold on to him. And, you know, Borix should have won a 30-27 against old mate Barzola. You know, I heard it multiple times. I'm like, yeah, here's the side here, 60% minimum. I bet at $1.80. So I had $750. And, and then round 1, he almost knocks him out. I'm like, cool, things are going great. He looks a bit off. Round 2, Kennedy takes him down easily. He doesn't do anything on the ground. He just lets him go to mount. And then he backpacks him. I'm like, oh, man, Borix is injured. Borix is injured. I noticed something in round 1. He's looking at his coaches. He's talking to the coaches. Kennedy hasn't backpacked anyone other than Pedro Carvalho, right? No one. All he does is hold on to people against the cage. He doesn't have any jiu-jitsu. No submission upside. No submission threat. I'm like, something is wrong with Borix, man. Like, what is going on here? First 1.5 unit bet in ages, and this happens. And then round 3 starts. I'm like, yeah, Kennedy's going to take him down again. You know, he usually has good round 3 sniffing. And then I put all my money, $500 on Kennedy live to win like $250. Not even a proper hedge. So that's all the profits. I was going to win $500 from Borix. Borix wins. I break even, and I'm like, cool. Got nothing to show for it. I put $150 on Kim. I just felt like I should fade Movlid after watching Kennedy versus Movlid in the first episode. And Movlid the bragdolls him. That was kind of forced. Logan, nothing. Pineda, nothing. And then I live bet Gene, at minus 200 halfway through round 1. I'm like, why is he still minus 200? I feel like Jackson has nothing for him. And I got away with that one. I ended up with $200 profit. Whatever, it should have been like $700. This is where the tilt started. I felt like I was almost going to get a $1,000 profit on PFL, not forcing anything. Umalato under, and, a big bet on Borix, a fight that I had a good read on, and I messed it up. So I'm like, okay, I won't be too upset because there's a lot of regionals to go. But deep down, it bothered me. It bothered me a lot. So then we move on. We got UAE Warriors, nothing there. LFA, just whatever, just a horrible card. I hate LFA. I tried to tape it, didn't get anything out of it. Ryzen, again, I completely forgot about Ryzen. What I did, I donated $100 on Kimura. He was like $6 underdog. He has a lot of KO upside, and Karamov has been knocked out from the bottom before. I think me and my friend Dogfather both donated. He actually went to a decision, and he did well to get out of backpacks. Got taken down 6 times, worked his way up each time. So a little bit of value. He lost a clear decision, but too much too soon. Other than that, the only one I regret is, I didn't tape much, but I just taped what stuck out to me. Sina Kariman, he was making his MMA debut. Sina Kariman making his MMA debut. I bet him as a $3.50 underdog last time in an exhibition boxing match against the welterweight, and he lost. He just couldn't do anything. He was getting stuck and moved on. I got my money back because that was an exhibition. But I'm like, man, this Arato guy is awful, awful, obese, fat dude, as fat as you could possibly be in MMA. Like, look at this dude. He's got like Chad physique. 37 years of age, and 2 fights ago he was knocked out in round one. I'm like, Cena, MMA is better for Cena because he throws elbows, knees, spinning shit. He's gonna knock this guy out. And the noise got to me. Everyone's like, oh, Cena's gonna get disqualified. He loves to cheat. In the first fight that I bet him, he punched the ref like 3 times. It was hilarious, and they didn't disqualify him. It's great. Ryzen just doesn't give a shit. Imagine if someone in the UFC punched like Herb Dean by accident. It'd be like all hell would break loose. And I didn't bet it. He was $2.40 and he won easily against Harato. And I'm like, man, I should have done it. And I'm like, now Kimura's going to lose. I can feel it. It was only $100 poke, but he's going to lose. It did. So I lose $100 there. $200 on PFL, lose $100 there. Nowhere at the moment. Nowhere spectacular. So, but we got two of my favorites promotions, Octagon and KSW coming up. Now, unfortunately, this is what sucked. It was between the two of them. They have Octagon and KSW has promotions together many times. Between the two of them, there wasn't much to bet on. There really wasn't much to bet on. Really not much. This first fight, pick him. I wanted to fade and die, but this Kawa guy looked awful as well. Camille, Alexi, and Islam. I ended up betting Alexi 1 unit to win 388. He was a slight favorite. I thought he had all the finishing upside, but Islam was meant to fight this Morello guy, and this Morello guy is really good. And I thought, shame they're giving him Sebi for the title, because I thought he was going to beat the shit out of Islam, and he was paying $3.40. I was like, wow, shame, real shame. I almost bet him against Sebi. It was 1-1 going to third, and then he got submitted. But yeah, really hard card to bet. I ended up winning that Alexi round 1 sub. I gave that on Twitter. I'm trying to give out my bets on Twitter more because I used to do that. I was just too busy. And the good news is, I liked Domin over Stasiak. I liked Formella over Szymanski, and they both lost. Generally, I pass on winning leans on KSW, but here I passed on losing leans. That made me feel a bit better. The only one that hurt was Philip DeFries, minus 200 against the white belt. He probably could have got knocked out, but he took him down, instantly finished him. That one was like, I should have done it. I got too scared by the KO threat. But not much to bet. Not much to bet. So 388, I won a little bit there. And then Octagon, again, what is there to bet here? Solaya, Jan Stanovsky, I thought that was a pick 'em. I thought this Pepe guy had potential at dog money, but he won a split, and that's what I thought it would be. Massive favorite, Jakub, plus 140, I passed. Ended up looking great. Jamie Cordero, I said it would kill him, $1.20, what to do with that? Squad, $1.20, what to do with that? I should have bet Ronald. I didn't get a chance to tape. I ended up betting Lengal. I thought 2 washed guys. One is Chinny and washed. That's Ivan Buchina. I've been fading him, with Ronald, with SQ. And I'm like, Lengal looks completely washed himself. He's probably going to get finished to the body or subbed if he goes late. But he can kill Ivan. He can win a decision. Lengal won round 1, apparently, and then he just gassed. So I was like, he was only half a unit. Didn't feel amazing about it. And I didn't really bet Muradov. I didn't bet Lamola. Just can't bet on his fights. He can get knocked out in any fight. So I lost, $200 there, whatever. So again, win a little bit on KSW, lose a little bit on Ryzen and Octagon. So that's where we're at, I'm just, after all these underwhelming results, all I'm thinking about is I should be like $800 up on PFL, but I feel good. I feel relatively good about UFC, right? So we'll get into the UFC. We'll get into why I'm truly tilted. And we'll do the comments first. Sup, Glimbot. 6 hound. Thank God for Jeremy Cannonball. Horrible IQ. Yeah. Parky, UFC card was ass. About 3 fights that were some watchable. Yeah, UFC has been shit for a while. MMA has been shit for a while. Just over it. Over everything about it. If you don't have any money on it, it's literally unwatchable. And I'm a hardcore. I've watched every single event since UFC 1, right? Doesn't sound believable, but I have them. I have them on my computer. And when I was younger, I just went from, instead of watching movies, I watched UFC 1 all the way to current day UFC, which I haven't missed a card. But unless you have money, they're just horrible fights. Just Dana White has decided to sign a bunch of bums, hence Contender Series, and he just wants to turn over fights every week. He doesn't care about the quality anymore. Glimbot, what are you saying? Sweet night on UFC, but fights were a bit ass. Yeah, good job, mate. Why did Lenko try to grapple? Yeah. Parky. Glimbot cashed on Rome money line, Archer money line, under Alonso money line decision. Max bet on Roni. Yeah, nice, mate. You did well. Thanks for letting me know. All right, so we started with Horth, Demopoulos, disgusting fight. Phil Rowe, Ange Lusa. I have no regret passing here. I hate both these guys, both idiots. Just look at their faces. They're both idiots. And I was a little bit tempted on Rowe when a lot of money came in on Lusa, but I knew he was going to lose round one. The guy is always a live bet. I tried to live bet multiple times at $6 on a new bookie that a friend helped me out with, and just kept getting rejected. So I went back to my old bookie and I put like $75 to win 280 when Phil Rowe knocked him out in round 3. I thought about passing because he was 2-0 down, but I'm like, he almost knocked him out in round 2. He needs a knockout. There's a chance he knocks him out in round 3. And finally, someone kills Lusa, right? I faded him against McKee. I almost knocked him out in round 3. I played the under 1.5 rounds against Bonfim. Big plus money. Didn't knock him out. So there you go. Of all people to do it, Phil Rowe has done it. Simone, Smotherman, nothing. I didn't like anything there. Ochoa, I said I like this money line. I was hoping it would improve. It never improved. People just kept betting Ochoa more and more, even though, yeah, Cody was in his hometown. His job was on the line. Usually those guys show up. But what I did find last minute was Jose Ochoa, no scorecards, almost minus 200. Pretty much the same as his money line. And I felt like, he's very live to finish. If he's gonna cover this line, he'll be hurting Cody Durden, especially when Cody gasses out. I put a unit on that to win 500 to win 230. I really should have gone like 2 units. That was like a great bet. Even if Cody won a decision, you still win your bet. So it is what it is. But now, I'm $500 up. I'm like, cool. I'm acquiring profit here. Well, maker Chris Moutinho. I had a unit on the under 1.5 rounds, which I didn't really like after tape. I just thought Chris was too tough. I overthank it. I played start round 2, hoping he will go into round 2. Well, Nate will knock him out round 2, hit both, but I just made $75 on that. It is what it is. Michael Chiesa, I played the over. Over went to pick him. Made no sense. Went to pick him. Played to win $200, but then last minute I played 150 on Court McGee to get one takedown at $3.40. This guy takes grapplers down all the time. He took down Silva a bunch of times, took down Brahimaj a bunch of times. He got on Michael Chiesa's hips in round 3, dumped him, and the dump was so pathetic. Chiesa got up straight away. It didn't even count as a takedown. So I lost my profits there. Had 190 on the over, but I lost 150 on Court McGee, one takedown. Disgusting fights now, by the way. This is where the disgusting fight started. I had Paul Craig starts round 2, $1.60. I thought most of these guys finishing upside is via sub, right? I made a good read that Bellado's not subbing Craig. Craig's not subbing Bellado. I saw Bellado on the ground with Jimmy Crute. I saw Craig on the ground with Jimmy Crute for 3 rounds until he eventually got subbed. I was like, these guys need to knock each other out. Bellado's not getting knocked out by Paul Craig. Bellado might knock out Paul Craig, but Craig has survived against harder hitters. So I'm like, let's roll. Let's roll with it. And it looked amazing. It looked amazing until the last 2 seconds of the fight. And then Paul Craig throws that stupid up kick. And I was like, wow, did you have to do that with 2 seconds to go? Couldn't you just let the thing run out? So I almost lost my money there. If that was a DQ, I would have lost $200. I didn't. I got my money back. It was luckily it was a no contest, but would have been nice to win some cash there. Would have been nice to win $200 there because I just lost $200 on the Court McGee fight, even though I picked a good over. I just lost like $300 on Malcolm Wellmaker under because I became a pussy and I cashed it out. And would have been good to win $200 on the Bellado go start round 2, but didn't work out. But whatever, I'm still a unit up. I'm still $500 up. Then we get to the main card, and I'm like, Alonso has some value, but forget betting him. He's the worst. So I'll just live bet it, right? I'll live bet it, and I play Umar C to get a round 2 takedown at Pick'em. It was, I thought the fight would go long. I don't think he will shoot too hard in round 1. He didn't really shoot against Daewoo Jung. Luckily, the only takedown in 15 minutes hits in round 2, so I win like $90 there. And I live bet. How much did I live bet? Alonso, $150 after round 2 to win almost $500, $460, right? And I thought it was 1-1 going into the third. I thought Alonso won the third clear. And yeah, I won $500 there. I'm like, I'm over $1,000 up. I'm like, man, these things are Gucci. I'm doing great. I'm finally making up for all the waste of time on the regionals, right? But I know I have Mansour Abdul Malik and Cody Brundage. I tipped out one unit. I gave it on Twitter. I knew I was asking for it by giving it out an obvious under 1.5 rounds on Twitter. A lot of dodgy shit has happened with unders before, with totals. Like I've been burned before, and probably the dodgiest one was Bulgarian versus that bum, and he just chose not to finish him until round 2, until we went over 1.5 rounds. Right? I was like, I know I'm pushing my luck here. Right? It's too obvious. I conservatively gave it 70%. Right? I didn't say it's 80%. I didn't say it's 100. I gave it 70%. There's no way you can wiki-cap, you can watch their fights and say, Cody gets finished 9 out of 10. More often than not, when he gets hit, he cowers, he quits. And you can't say that you can't give Cody a little bit of finishing upside round 1 and 2. Otherwise, how's he going to win this fight? He doesn't have the cardio to win the fight, doesn't have the wrestling to out-wrestle Malik. I gave it 70%. And then this bum right here, this Abdul Malik, this fake intelligent fighter, thinks the worst type of fighter. They think they're intelligent. They think they're elite. They think they're smart. They're cerebral. But they're just bums. He just fought like a bum in there. He literally let Cody Brundage out-volume him for the first 2 rounds. He's lucky he didn't lose that fight. If he didn't headbutt Cody, he might have actually lost that fight, and that would have been great. That would have been beautiful. So this guy literally didn't throw anything for the first 2 rounds. I felt like I was watching Alonzo Manifield in there. So that made me sick because I'm like, I know I've lost this fight. I know I've lost all my profits on the one bet. And 7 years into betting, my life is a script. It's a script. I could script it. I'm like, yep, I'm hitting here, I'm hitting here, I'm hitting here, and I'm $1,000 up, and there's a big bet coming. I only tipped 500 on Malik in the Discord, but I had more than that because my gut every single day, my gut was like, this is one of those good under 1.5 rounds that you used to bet all the time, multiple units. You got to take a swing. But I was burned by Malik when I needed to win last year. The beginning of me reducing my under $2,000 units to $500. I needed an under in Contender Series, and it was Malik versus Schultz. And and I had this feeling, I was like, he's going to burn me again when I need it for good profit. So I played a little bit to start round 2. I was hoping maybe you can get a KO round 2, hit both, but no, I just knew this is going all the way to the decision. So I lost $800 there. I was a little bit over 1,000, so I'm down to like 300 profit. And I was like, yep, I knew it. I just tilted watching this clown right here, one of the biggest clowns in the UFC. So tilted watching this guy feint and then back off, corner Brundage and then back off, take 2 steps back. It's like, what are you doing, bro? What is your game plan? Is it just to feint at the air, to draw out nothing and throw nothing for 10 minutes? Is it to gas out Cody Brundage? Because he's not gassing, just staring at you. Worse, this guy, I avoided his under 1.5 rounds against Nick Klein, but he got me. He got me here. So props to him. Absolute clown. But maybe I'm at fault because I reduced the Wallmaker under and I don't reduce this one when it's 2 clowns actually fighting, Brundage and Malik. So, yes, So I'm like, the other under that I have is Raoni Barcelos, and I know this is going to be tilting because Raoni Barcelos, one of the worst finishers in the UFC. His dad is a coral belt. His dad is a coral belt. Raoni Barcelos is a third degree jiu-jitsu black belt. He has one finish, one submission in the UFC. He can't submit anyone, right? So I knew it was going to be tilting, but I liked him right after the UFC $1.69, and then so much money came in on him. I let the noise influence me. I thought he wins this fight more often than not. So I'm like, I'll just play the under because I just don't think Cody can survive 15 minutes. I play it doesn't go. I pick him. I'm like, this should be 60%. And I don't really have a regret. I felt better about it than Malik under, honestly, because, Cody was hurting him. I only hurt him multiple times, finally took him down. Yeah, it lost too. So like as soon as Haoni got his back in round 3, I'm like, yeah, he's not going to finish him because he can't submit anyone. He only submits Quinones, the Mexican Quinones guy, when I don't bet the submission. So yeah, now I'm down, up $1,000 something before this bum Malik, and now I'm down 380. And then whatever, I haven't been this tilted in a long, long time. And then I just put another $250 on Edmund round 1, or another little bit on under 1.5 rounds, just in case he does it early in round 1. And then I just watch Edmund do the same thing as Malik. I just watch him do the same thing as Malik, just jab, hurt Andre Petroski with every single jab that he throws, and just back off, just back off. I hurt him, but I don't want to finish him. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? What are these fighters? What are these fighters in the middleweight doing? This card is full of pussies, of absolute pussies, right? Paul Craig, pussy. Bellato, pansy. McGee, pansy. Michael Chiesa, pansy. Phil Rowe, loser. Just pansies after pansy. Omar Sy, he got hit once by Manifield. He just turned into a typical French pansy, right? Cody pansy. Malik pansy. Cody Garbrandt running away at 50 pansy. Andre Petroski petrified of the jab. Edmund Shabazian petrified to throw a right, to throw a number 2. All he can do is jab and run away. I'm like, what are these guys? This is all Dana White's fault. Back in the day, fighters used to be scared putting on performances like Edmund Shabazian versus Andrew Petroski. You used to be cut. If you're on a 3-fight winning streak, Dana White will cut you because he's like, I need more views. I need good fights. Dana White doesn't give a shit anymore. That's why they're signing all these bums. They're putting on bum main events, bum main cards, and you can get away with fighting like Edmund, zero urgency. And yeah. So I didn't care. I thought that was going to lose, but I just had a good read that Andre just falls apart. 1-1-2, and he just dies. And I thought Edmund could, if anyone's going to do that to him, was Edmund. But yeah, Edmund, take my cat off to Edmund. He did really well not to finish him. So yeah, down like 300 now. And yeah, Rose Namajunas, Miranda Maverick, Kamaru Usman, Buckley. I just didn't care about these fights. I thought it just disgusted me that I had to watch Rose Namajunas, Miranda Maverick in the state that I was in. Just like the UFC is putting me through this, and I don't have a bet to enjoy it. So I almost turned it off, but I'm like, nah, because one of my things is not to quit. I had some epic chases. I'm like, there's 2 fights. I could make like $500 on these last 2 fights, but how are you going to lie bet Rose Namajunas, Miranda Maverick? Rose cracks her, then she gets cracked by Maverick in round 1. Rose takes her back, then she almost gets submitted with an arm triangle choke at the end of round 2. It's like untrustworthy. You can't even lie bet these people. And then Kamaru Usman, props to him. He beat Buckley 5 rounds to nil. Yeah, props to anyone that bet it. I kind of had a feeling that Usman was the side. I mentioned it in the pod, the original one, but I just never got time to tape. After I went down, I had no motivation to tape. So here we are. So I lost a little bit on Cage Warriors. How's the month looking? A little bit on Cage Warriors, a little bit on UFC. But made money on Brave, made money on the pay-per-view, on PFL, and just KSW, and then just little pokes here or there. Ultimately, just feel like I spent 50. The goal was 2,000, 4 units. Straight away, I didn't feel confident. Taping Octagon, Ryzen. I'm like, there's not many good spots this week. Despite all the regionals, there really isn't many spots. And then I started to, I was hoping PFL will be good. And when I didn't get that big profit on PFL, I was like, oh no, no, it all relies on the UFC. But I still felt good about the UFC. Look, I was $1,000 up right before Malik. So yeah, it's all Malik. I blame Malik. So, but that's me. I should have had 2 units on that under. Maybe I should have had 2 units on the Well Maker under. It's just how it goes. It's just how my scripted life goes. Reduce the winning bets, um, double down on the losing bets. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So now we're up. I'm still up $1,000 this month, if you can see. So that's 2 units, and that's 3,000 something. That's 6 units. My goal was to get 10. So I've got half a month to get 2K, which I almost did it this week. But yeah, I think it's just hard on myself. Just everyone around is profiting, hitting big. People I consider bums are hitting big, and I'm just like, I just want to build a bankroll so I can go, bet more, go crazy. And I'm just every bet I'm overthinking because I don't want to lose the little bit of bankroll that I have left. Very frustrating, very frustrating. You won't see me for 3 days at least. Yeah, researching for 50 hours this week just to get nothing out of it, to actually lose $80 to waste. Yeah, maybe I'm burnt out, but yeah, tilted, very tilted. I had a lot of design work. We're talking like $5,000 worth of design work, cold hard cash, and I put it on hold just because I love taping. It's obviously a lot more fun to watch fights with the boys, bet, win money. No better feeling. But not worth it, man. Not worth it. Not worth it. Even Dogfather gave me a great boxing bet, and I passed on it, and that one too, won easily. So yeah, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Still in profit, but it just 3,000, 6 units for the year. I don't know. I'll keep trucking along, I guess. But 6 hound. Just avoid betting 185, 265, and your mental will improve. Yeah, I guess so. Admin decisioning. Buckley is terrible. Got exposed badly. Some of the worst takedown defense. Yeah, it's been better than that before. But Buckley, he's been on a run of just killing washed guys. As I said, I had $2,000 on Buckley versus Kobe Covington, but Kobe Covington is just another. He's always been a step below Usman. Icelandic farts. You'll get back next week. Well, I don't know if I will. I'm actually going to stick to not doing anything MMA related for the next 3 days. I'm going to stick to it because I lost 3K on that Sakuraba bet, and that was more depressing than annoying. And I did 2 days, and then I got back into it, made it back, made 6 units back. But this just feels like I don't want to do it. This is not depression. This is like I'm annoyed. It doesn't feel worth it. Parky, it's part of the game. Everyone goes through the same shit at some point. Just go to stick to the process. Yeah, I don't feel like sticking to the process, Parky. My process is 50 hours of grinding to lose $80. You know what I mean? I think for me it's better to just make my bankroll through other means. Because look, if I didn't spend 50 hours on this week, I still would have made more money. If I didn't live bet Kennedy and I just bet my 2 bets on PFL, which I only taped for like a day, and then just spent a day taping UFC, none of these fights needed extensive tape. Like Ochoa, I was like, yeah, I like him straight away. I didn't even tape Phil Rowe-Lusa. Ronnie Barcelos I taped, but then I let the line get away from me, and then I forced the under. Yeah, none of these fights require tape. So taping 50 hours was just a waste of my life. And in 2 weeks' time, I got a competition, jiu-jitsu competition. It's not enough to get fit. I really should have gone to training yesterday, and I should have gone for a run. And that's the pay-per-view card. And I'm like, I usually do better in pay-per-views. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to miss the pay-per-view. But you know what? It's probably for the best. Fucking putting away bloody hours and hours of your time. Like I'll train and probably do better. When you focus on other things, you do better. Parky, yes, you can definitely overtape and then overthink. Not only that, it's just you tape 3, 4 different regional cards, and there's nothing. There's no value. That's the annoying thing. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let my Discord, my network, do the work for me, which is the whole point. When someone gives out um, locks on the Discord, I just tape that, and then I move on to I move on from anything else. Tape what the sharps are thinking is good. Don't try find some hidden value that others are not talking about, because you end up just taping and taping, and you just feel like you wasted hours for nothing. But we'll see. Icelandic farts. Do you bet any other sports? I bet soccer. That's the first thing I bet. Before there was even MMA markets in Australia. But I'm down like $500 on that too for the year. But that's like, I bet that sporadically. I don't research it. I'm a fan, and my units are $50. So that's like, I don't know, like 10 units I'm down on soccer. But that's just for fun. Who cares? 6 Hound, he's terrible, but you have to bet Mo Usman plus 160. Mate, the last thing I want to be doing right now is taping Mo Usman. That's the last thing I want to be doing. I almost turned off and didn't watch Rose Namajunas versus Kamaru Usman. So yeah, that's it. A bit of a longer recap. But yeah, it was always going to be a venting pod. It's a tilt zone. This is where I show emotion the only time on the podcast. You will never see it from me any other time. So yeah, it is what it is. Still up 2 units for the month, but just very frustrating. Very frustrating. Will a big card happen? Who the hell knows? I haven't had a big card. I guess Mali Marab was almost 2 units, but when is the last time I made 3 units in on 1 week? Almost never. Not even almost not happened this year. Yeah. Well, is what it is. Thanks for listening. Peace out. Icelandic farts. I hate to put it this way, but only losing half a unit isn't bad. Don't quit. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. You get what I'm trying to say. I'm a perfectionist, Icelandic farts. I'm a perfectionist. I want a big night. There's no worse feeling than being up $1,000 twice and falling down to nothing. PFL and UFC, but it is what it is. All right, peace out. Like and subscribe.